A state senator is proposing to allow children 12 and over to get vaccinated without their parents' consent. Some parents say that this is the government overriding parents' authority.
Senator Scott Wiener introduced a bill to allow teens ages 12 to 17 to receive the COVID-19 vaccine without parental consent.
This will empower our youth. We know that currently in California, nearly 1 million 12 to 17-year-olds are not vaccinated for COVID-19.
Senate Bill 866, also known as the Teens Choose Vaccines Act, was introduced on Thursday. If passed, it would allow minors 12 and older to receive a dose without their parents' permission, as long as the vaccine is approved by the FDA.
On average, COVID is less likely to be serious, create serious illness for teenagers. Teens do get sick. There are teens in the hospital, teens on ventilators, and tragically, teens who die.
According to the state's statistics, the 0 to 17 age group accounts for 0.1% of COVID deaths. Wiener argues this bill builds on existing law that already allows kids 12 and older to consent to receiving the hepatitis B vaccine, birth control, and abortions. The San Mateo senator received a mix of responses on Twitter.
The single biggest reason is most children don't make decisions that adults would make. So informed consent is the biggest single issue that I see. And children don't have the capacity to make that.
So I just think it's overreach. It's unnecessary. Parents can make informed decisions for their children. We know their background, their history, their risk profile, etc. We care more about our kids than the state does. I don't care what they say. They're not as invested in our children as we are.
Another parent tells NTD he thinks legislation that chips away at the ability of a parent would be a huge mistake. There should be a very high standard for overriding a parent or lawful guardian's authority, and only under the imminent or persistent and grave threat to the child's well-being. He says there are already established public school vaccination constructs, child protective services, and the courts to deal with those situations, so there is no need to give minors authority over these decisions.
Governor Gavin Newsom is calling for students to return to in-class learning at their schools. His change in stance comes after a drop in standardized test scores last year. NTD's David Lamb reports.
California Governor Gavin Newsom and several leaders reportedly want to keep school classrooms open. His call comes after forcing schools to shut down during the COVID-19 or CCP virus pandemic. Newsom said it's critical top priority to keep the schools open, Politico reported. Newsom cited the challenges of going online and the lost learning opportunities from not being in school. A majority of California school districts are open to either in-person learning or hybrid learning. Several districts remain as online-only learning. For a span of 5 years, standardized test scores have gradually increased in California until last year. Last year's results showed a roughly 49% passing rate of the English testing portion and less than 34% passing the math portion. According to U.S. News, California ranks 40th in the United States for K-12 schooling. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
A company in Menlo Park has developed a model to be able to process PCR COVID tests with results in a few hours. They are currently doing the most tests by volume in California. NTD's Jason Blair has more.
A lab in Menlo Park is processing around 100,000 COVID tests a day, which is currently the highest amount by volume in California. Twice a day, a small airplane lands in Palo Alto containing thousands of swabbed samples from students, teachers, and staff at Los Angeles Unified School District, which is the second largest school district in the U.S.
We started the company really with the vision of helping schools because we saw that as the foundation for communities to get back to normal. Kids had to be back in school for parents to go back to work.
The samples are then driven to Summer Bio nearby in Menlo Park. Summer Bio launched in May 2020, shortly after the start of the pandemic. They say the current Omicron variant has resulted in the lab running at near capacity. They say it's the busiest they've been since August when the Delta variant was peaking. Despite the federal government's recent efforts to get more quick resulted antigen tests sent to the public, Summer Bio says the polymerase chain reaction tests they conduct are necessary for many schools and businesses, as PCR tests are considered to be more accurate with quicker results.
So that sample tube that we collect in the field goes nearly straight from the field into our automation instead of a bunch of handling manipulation by the by the lab staff. We're able to just take them in from the field and drop it into the automation.
PCR testing usually takes a day or two to get results back, but Summer Bio says thanks to a fully automated process they developed that's running 24 hours a day, they're able to get results back in just a few hours. The co-founders said they hope their automated process will become a business model for similar labs nationwide. Jason Blair, NTD News, California.
On Thursday, Governor Newsom visited an area covered in undelivered packages. There, in East Los Angeles, thousands of unopened and damaged parcels sprawl out over railway tracks. NTD's Andrew Thomas has more.
Video taken of the debris went viral worldwide. Much of the footage was from drone shots, which showed the extent of the looting. Newsom spoke to reporters gathered by the train track.
I see what you see, I see what you've been covering, I see what everybody's seen, and asking myself, what the hell is going on? I mean, look like a third world country, these images, the drone images that were on the nightly news, day in and day out. Some networks weaponizing them for their own, political agenda, and others just reporting the damn news, fairly and appropriately.
Newsom held a press briefing alongside members of representatives from railroad hauling company Union Pacific and the Los Angeles County Supervisor, Hilda Solis, as well as a number of federal agents.
And then the question you're going to ask is the question I'm asking, trust me, to every single person behind me. How do we make sure we don't have to keep coming back? How do we secure this site? How do we do a better job in making sure that this doesn't have to continue to happen?
Transport crews will continue cleanup efforts in the area in the coming days, while California Highway Patrol will coordinate with law enforcement to help prevent theft on the railways. Newsom said 280 people have been arrested, and more are being pursued. He said investigators are targeting the fencing operations that sell the goods. Authorities said thieves have hit cargo containers aboard trains for months. The stolen packages are from retailers including Amazon, REI, and others. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink is now hiring a clinical trial director. The company may be nearing human clinical trials after showing successful implant usage in a monkey last year.
Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink is hiring a clinical trial director. The Fremont, California-based company posted a job listing searching for someone with understanding of the clinical trial process from beginning to end. The listing includes handling critical FDA interactions and knowledge of FDA regulations. The company's webpage says, "We are creating the future of brain interfaces, building devices now that will help people with paralysis." Late August, Neuralink showed footage of a monkey playing the video game Pong using only its mind along with their implant. In December, Musk told Wall Street that he predicts to implant Neuralink's device in human brains sometime in 2022. But Bloomberg reported Musk's prediction as overly optimistic, since he made a similar statement in 2019 that the device would be in human skulls by the following year. Neuralink has not publicly announced if it is conducting human trials yet.